Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Idea Gen Global Podcast with George Sifakis.
I'm George Sifakis. In a world overflowing with noise, there is one forum where the world's smartest voices connect, where visionaries sit at the same table as innovators, and great minds don't just talk, they act.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we will get to the Grammys in just a bit. And Governor Hochul of New York State, it seems like the Democrat slogan for her reelection campaign is that she hates ICE, or certainly wants to gain off of the ICE agency. You wanted him as mayor. Now the 34-year-old with no executive experience is in charge. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. It sounds great. It sounds wonderful. Mamdani says New York is in a code blue. New York remains in a code blue. Code blue. Sounds great. But the death toll from the frigid winter weather in New York City, the death toll is now 16. 16 homeless people. Mayor Mamdani announcing just today as he's facing blowback, right? Look at the streets. Pick any street, any borough, and it looks horrible. It reminds you of the 1970s. Lord knows we don't want to go back to that. We don't want to. But this is Mamdani's New York. 800-848-9222. The mayor of New York City.
A severe cold front continues to bear down on our city. Today is our 11th consecutive day of below freezing weather. And we could very well be in the middle of the longest period of consecutive sub-32 degree weather in our city's entire history. Without temperatures rising above freezing, snow has hardened into blocks of ice. But the greatest danger posed by this sustained cold is to vulnerable New Yorkers who remain exposed to the elements. As of this morning, 16 of our fellow New Yorkers have passed away outside during this brutal stretch of cold. In 13 of these cases, preliminary findings indicate that hypothermia played a role, and 3 of these deaths appear to be overdose deaths. We await final results from the medical examiner's office and will inform New Yorkers as we learn more. Each of these lives lost is a tragedy. My heart was with the family of those mourning their loved ones.
So, Socialist Mamdani, your politics don't work here. Now the mayor is stating that in some cases they are forcibly removing people, homeless people, from the streets. The policy should have stayed consistent of what Eric Adams had, of what Giuliani had. It is not compassionate to leave homeless people on the street. And I've got to stop for a second and focus on this because I've thought about this. If you're out on the street homeless and you're freezing to death, are you in your right mind when this is happening? What does it feel like? I know what it feels like to be extremely cold. And your hands get extremely cold, and it's like if I don't get inside right now, it feels like my hands are going to fall off. But what does it feel like when everybody else is in a warm apartment, a warm house, and you're out there in the middle of the night in the dark with maybe your dog with you, but you're out there in the middle of the night? Do you reflect on your life? Are you having a psychotic episode where you don't even know who you are, where you are? What does your body feel like? Do you know you're about to die? Do you go to sleep? Can you go to sleep with these cold temperatures? You see the pictures everywhere of homeless people standing near grates for the steam to come up. The compassionate thing to do, whether they want to go or not, is you have law enforcement there and you make them go to the shelter. Or Mamdani says they have a couple of units if people refuse to go to shelters, 50 units. And Mayor Mamdani, you better get it together fast because you may not recover from this first major mistake. Look at the streets. Snow is piled up everywhere. Everywhere. And then you add the garbage. And then you add the city's acting sanitation commissioner. This guy seems to be nothing but DEI at its highest. And maybe that's why the snow piles are so high. Because of a DEI acting sanitation commissioner. Remember, Jessica Tisch was the sanitation commissioner before she became the police commissioner. And we don't remember stories like this. I see your calls. You know what? Before I get to Governor Hochul and her nonstop attacks on ICE, and before we get to the Grammys, the Grammys, and what Bad Bunny and what Billie Eilish had to say. You know, Billie Eilish says, there's no such thing as no one is illegal on stolen land. Well, I know you're young and I know you're far left, Billie Eilish, but so then why don't you give up your LA mansion? Will the armed security guards let us stay in your mansion since it's all stolen land, right? And Bad Bunny, you say ice out, right? So you're performing this Sunday at the Super Bowl. It's not even going to be in English. How am I going to understand what he's talking about? Is he going to wear a dress and you want to say ice out? Let's start with Viviana, line 4 in Brooklyn. Good afternoon. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. It's so good to hear your voice. I'm usually listening to you at this time. I had to hit the hot news of the day, which is the Epstein connection. That they have his mom with pictures of him as
Viviana,
a little boy.
it says here you wanted to talk about people who froze to death. I'm not discussing Epstein right now.
Him that I had 2 topics. I'll do the people that froze to death.
Okay, all
there
right.
Was a item, or someone had commented in a newspaper, that these people were killed with kindness. And the thing is that his policy, it was inhumane for you to force people to go into the shelters. Although I believe they have to put better security in the shelters so people don't.
So wait, Viviana, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You believe they should be allowed to stay on the street in this type of weather?
No, because he said they couldn't be put into the shelters.
You're saying he. I believe
them.
I believe you're referring to Mayor Mamdani. It's very hard to follow your point right now, Viviana. You're talking about Mayor Mamdani?
Let me go back.
Okay.
Mayor Mamdani said it was unkind to force homeless people off the street.
I got that, Viviana. I need you to get to the point. I have a lot of calls. What is the point you're trying to make?
My point is that his policy killed them with his kindness.
Absolutely.
He was trying to be kind by leaving them there. Can I make the other point?
No, I'm not discussing Epstein right now. So, because you'll take the show in a completely different direction. So I do apologize, but that's not on the plate. Because right now, thank you for the call. Right now, I'm discussing people that have died because of this man's policies of letting them stay on the street. That's what I'm talking about. I don't talk about no Epstein, wasting my time with that. There's a time and a place for that. Right now, I'm talking about people that can't stand up for themselves. I went into journalism to be a voice for the voiceless. And people like me and you and everybody else, we failed these homeless people. We failed them because they can't stand up for themselves. And would you leave a dog out there like that in this temperature? No. But this new socialist mayor. Let's get to Governor Hochul appearing on Morning Joe. Her new topic of the day, every day, happens to be ICE.
You're not using our local police. I need them to protect the communities and not have this distrust. And this is what we're hearing, that people are not distinguishing between local police. And we try so hard here to have a positive relationship with our communities of trust. And I want my police going after the murderers, the rapists, the gun traffickers, being available for emergencies. And if they're off, they're being deputized by ICE under these agreements that just a few of our counties are doing. They're being distracted. And I do not want that. And I'm not going to be supporting that. And we're going to change the law in the state of New York.
So there's your governor. You want leadership? I'm just going to leave it at that. So now the Grammys. And you know what? I can only think of one thing to respond to the Grammys.
Shut up!
You talk too damn much. Tell them, Run DMC, you talk too much. Why do you think we care what you have to say?
Hey, you over there, I know about your kind. You're like the Independent Network News on Channel 9. Everywhere that you go,
you talk too much, Hollywood.
I said you talk about this.
And you talk about that. So, Billie Eilish, right? Young lady, 24 years old. She says she's best song of the year. And Billie Eilish says no one is illegal on stolen land. This from a 24-year-old with a mega mansion and a state private security. You name it, she's got it. But no one is illegal. No one is illegal in terms of her comment on stolen land, right? We go from her to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny says ICE out, gets a standing ovation, right? President Trump says he's looking at suing for a comment that the host Trevor Noah made.
Song of the year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland. Which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton. So, I told you it's my last year. What are you going to do about it?
So this is a comedian that came from South Africa. He's okay. But dude, I mean, entitlement, right? You got the opportunity of a lifetime to come here from South Africa, host a comedy show. And now you think you're powerful enough to take on the president of the United States with those horrible comments. Let's go to Joseph. Fairfield, Connecticut, line 5. Joseph, what's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. It was reported in the New York Post for the last several days that Mayor Mondami, directed his police not to remove involuntarily the homeless off the street.
That is correct.
And that's absolutely correct. And he also directed them not to break up the encampments.
Right. So what's the point?
You cannot do that.
You can't do what? I'm sorry, Joe. You can't do what?
You can't break up the encampments that they're in. You have to take them out of there and put them into shelters. And they didn't do that. And these people...
Wait. When you say you can't, what do you mean you can't? The mayor issued an order. Don't do it. That's the rule. Once the mayor issues an order, he said leave them alone.
Not to take the homeless off the street.
Right. So
and to put them in shelters. That's the point. And he said it's okay to keep them out in the street in their encampments, whatever tents or whatever they have.
Right.
That's not showing mercy to them.
Well,
that's evil. That's wrong.
In his mind, it is. In his mind, and he's being handed his rear end. Thank you for the call, Joseph. He's being handed his rear end right now. That's why he's backtracking. It's disgusting and despicable what this young kid, as mayor of New York, you folks didn't want Eric Adams. He had his warts and all, but you didn't want Cuomo. You listened to the third candidate in the race and Mamdani, and now we're stuck with this absolute disaster.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.
This National Foster Care Month, Marine Toys for Tots is providing hope to children who need it most. Staff Sergeant James Caldwell, who grew up in foster care himself, shares that while handing out gifts at a Toys for Tots distribution event, a little girl looked up at him, reached into her bag, pulled out a stuffed animal and said, "Someone needs to make sure you get a toy too." That simple gesture embodies the heart of Marine Toys for Tots, ensuring every child, including those in foster care, experiences the kindness that can transform their future. Visit toysfortots.org today.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So again, on Sunday at the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny is going to perform. He's the halftime entertainment. You can't take away from this guy. He is a mega star on the world stage. But is he going to do a Boy George? Is he going to show up in a dress? Don't we have enough issues in America? I just looked up, and one of the Grammy folks that did at least praise God, tattoos all over his face. What is happening in the world? Am I just a dinosaur, and maybe it's time for me to tattoo? He's got like 10 tattoos on his face. So Mike Tyson started this phenomenon, if you will. Now they all do it. And so what's Bad Bunny going to do on Sunday? I'm sure he's got great beats to go with his songs, but we're not going to be able to understand a word because it's all in Spanish. And he's probably, because they're looking for shock value, he's probably going to come out in a dress. And what do you think that says to a 9-year-old boy? What do you think that says? And it's not new. Boy George did this years ago. Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island, says, Dom, the snow is a symbol and a reminder of how Mom Donnie snowed us during the campaign. The worst is yet to come. Let the church say amen. Let's go to Larry, line 2, Staten Island. Larry, what's on your mind?
Hi, Brother Dominic. Good afternoon. Dominic, as you started the show off, no doubt about it, executive experience is necessary to be the mayor of the city of New York. No doubt about it. I want to know, I'm going to ask you a question to see, because I think your mentor, Lord rest his soul, Gabe Pressman, would have picked this up. At all these, the circus, these press conferences that Mandami was holding for the conditions, I did not see one representative, not one, Dominic, from the New York City Police Department at those press conferences. Now, they're out there 24/7 with the homeless, moving the homeless outreach. I just don't understand it. Is this the beginning of the end that he now is going to really shove it to the police department?
Well, you raise a good point, Larry. I hadn't even looked at that aspect of this, and you're so accurate. I mean, he does the news conferences with the police commissioner and so on, Jessica Tisch. This guy he's a creation of the media. He's got, he grew up with a silver spoon, but he's an empty suit. He's articulate, but there's just no substance there whatsoever. All he cares about is social media and looking pretty for the cameras. So I don't think it's the beginning of the end, but I think we're in an awful lot of trouble. And I'm going to keep noting with interest that a third candidate in the race that gave us Mamdani has absolutely nothing to say now. This candidate, I guess he's gone away with his head between his legs when his wife patting him on his head. I don't know. Thank you for the call, Larry. But we wouldn't be in this position. We would not be in this position if it wasn't for that third candidate in the race for mayor. It's despicable and disgusting what the third candidate in the race for mayor did. Oh, he was going to win anyway. Cuomo would have won. Cuomo would have been within 2 percentage points. Momentum would have carried him over the top. Mamdani will be back in the assembly, never to be heard from ever again.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And again, in New York City, the death toll from the frigid winter weather is now up to 16. Mayor Mamdani announced just a short time ago he's under the gun, facing criticism. This is just, he's been in office for a little more than a month. This is a total disaster. 13 of the people that died out in the cold, they believe it's weather related. 13, they're looking at drug overdoses. It just didn't have to be this way. Did not have to be this way. The mayor of New York City.
We are continuing to do everything in our power to get every New Yorker into a shelter where they will be warm. The cold is showing no signs of stopping, so neither will this city's efforts. From information available now, it appears that none of the individuals who have died outside were living in homeless encampments at the time of their death. New York remains in a code blue. If you see someone in need, please call 311. Outreach workers and first responders from the NYPD and FDNY will respond and get those New Yorkers the help that they need. Our outreach workers have only intensified their work to get homeless New Yorkers into shelter. We continue to operate warming sites and warming vehicles across the 5 boroughs. We have expanded shelter capacity, relaxed intake rules, and are working with our partners across the city to increase outreach. As of this morning, we have made more than 930 placements to shelters and safe havens. We have also involuntarily transported 18 New Yorkers who were determined to be a danger to themselves or to others. We have expanded our mobile warming units to a fleet of 20, which are moving throughout the city, equipped with clinical staff to treat New Yorkers' needs and get them off the street. If you are hearing me speak right now and you are not sure if you will be looked after, please let me make myself clear. Every single person will be cared for. No one will be turned away. As part of that commitment, we have added 50 new single-room shelter units for those who are uncomfortable with other forms of shelter, because we want every New Yorker to know that shelter is there if they need it.
So that comment would mean something if it was said prior to the 16 deaths. 16 people that are dead. Elections have consequences, and we're looking at the consequence of electing Mamdani. Let's go to, let's see here. Let's go to Jason, line 3, Manhattan. Jason, what's on your mind?
I live on the Upper East Side in Yorkville, and I went outside to buy some milk, and there was a reporter named Caitlin, I believe. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong. I have it all on my video iPhone. I need to listen to it.
What's the point, Jason?
Oh, I'm sorry. The point is that I think they did a decent but not great job removing the snow in Yorkville. Decent but not great.
Okay, but what about the outer boroughs that are a complete mess? What about Lower Manhattan? What about not far from the mayor's residence at Gracie Mansion? Absolute disaster. Garbage, snow piled up. What about that, Jason?
Yeah, well, I can throw a baseball and hit Gracie Mansion, so that's why the streets up here are very good, is because the mayor wants to get around in his big limousine, but he doesn't give a rat's patoot about Staten Island. As a matter of fact, he hates Staten Island, so that's why they didn't get their snow removed. He hates Lower Manhattan. That's why they didn't get their snow removed. He loves their Upper East Side, all the restaurants and the bars, and I see him taking his limo with his big staff of security guards. Well, God bless. He's the mayor. He needs it. But the streets are clear up here so he can get around.
Fair enough, Jason. Thank you for the great call. Folks, this is also what happens. DEI again. The acting sanitation commissioner, I never heard of this guy. DEI. Period. No one sat down and said, excuse me, Mr. Mayor, we understand we're about DEI, but big snowstorm is coming. The world that we live in. Oscar, line 2. Wait a minute before I go to Oscar. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is up on Sunday. I'm going to get to you, Oscar. At the Super Bowl, I really do believe it's counterproductive to wear a dress. I don't understand why. I get it for shock value, but how the kids are already confused. If you walk around the subway, I'm just going to say it. You see young ladies kissing each other like there's nothing. They just kiss each other in a romantic way. I just wasn't brought up that way. It's just shock value for me. So is Bad Bunny going to show up in a dress or at some point change into a dress? You might as well, if you're going to do it, have the original Boy George come out. That would be original. He's going to perform in Spanish. So that's great if you understand Spanish. But if you're like a majority of Americans, you may have LeBron showing up at your concerts, but a majority of Americans, we don't know what you're going to be saying. So this is Bad Bunny at the Grammys.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say eyes out. We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, and we are Americans. Also, I want to say to the people, I know it's tough to know, not to hate on these days, and I was thinking, sometime we get contaminados. I don't know how to say that in English. The hate get more powerful with more hate. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love. So, please, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family. And that's the way to do it. With love. Don't forget that, please. Thank you.
So, Bad Bunny, right? And to show you how confused I am, I'm serious, folks, about him, whether or not he's going to, because he does this a lot. He wears a dress. So my granddaughter, right? It's a birthday celebration, Eva, coming up, and I can't make it. They're going to a water park because I'll be doing a podcast on the border of Pennsylvania, and then coming back, and so I won't be there. But I try and keep an eye on everything. And my granddaughter has asked for, she's in pre-K with a lot of boys in Rhode Island, and she's asked for a truck. And so I said to her grandmother, well, wait a minute, why does my granddaughter want a truck? And her grandmother said, well, maybe she'll be an engineer. Okay, so maybe that's the case. But I'm so confused with this modern day Boy George stuff that I'm like, wait a minute, is this a warning sign of something Grandpa needs to be aware of going into the future, even though she's only 4 years old? Thank you very much, Bad Bunny. Oscar in the Bronx, line 2. Oscar, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, my dear brother, Mr. Dominic. Great show.
Thank you.
This weekend, we had something very positive. We had a 4-division champ, 140-pound champ, Mr. Shakur Stevenson, a silver medalist. He's a very positive role model for the youth. You could have nutrition, professional sport.
Oscar, what is the point you're trying to make, please?
Okay, I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of positive things that happen in the city. In Madison Square Garden, we had a coronation of a great positive role model, Mr. Shakur Stevenson.
You said that already. Okay, thank you for the call, Oscar. Thank you. You said that already. You're promoting whoever you want to promote. I can respect that if you just say it once and then keep it moving. But when you say the person's name twice, then clearly you have an agenda. That means you meet Mr. Click, even though you didn't meet Mr. Click technically. Sherry in Brooklyn. Is this police officer Sherry?
Retired police officer Sherry, yes it is.
Oh, hi. How are you, young lady? What's going on?
I'm hanging in there.
Okay, what's on your mind?
I'm going to listen to Bad Bunny. When he said ice out, I'm going to ice out the halftime show.
So you're not going to listen to him? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said I'm going to take his advice. When he said ice out, I'm going to ice out the halftime show.
Okay, you're going to ice out. You're going to ice out the halftime show. So you're going to watch the Super Bowl, but you're not going to pay attention to Bad Bunny.
Yeah, depending where I am, yeah. If I'm home, then yeah, I'll just change the channel on it. If I'm out, I'm sure wherever I am, I'll probably change the channel too.
So you're really you I know you're a strong woman, but you really believe that you'll be able to get away from all this media hype and not watch Bad Bunny at halftime?
Oh, sure.
What do you think of him performing at times in a dress and in Spanish?
Well, obviously, English is not a language that I use, so I don't understand being Puerto Rico is, part of the United States. It's like, how he doesn't know English. But maybe if he wore a kilt, it would be more acceptable.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you understand the logic, Sherry? Did you encounter stuff like this as a police officer on the streets of Brooklyn for so many years with people with sexual orientation issues?
Yeah, every once in a while you run into the transvestite or whatever.
Oh, okay. Every now and then. Okay. All right. Okay. Would they fess up immediately that they were transgender or no?
No, they were just cross dressers. They were transvestites.
But you were able to tell immediately.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So how have you been, young lady?
Hanging in there. Yeah, I got a problem with my knee and the foot, but that's okay. Nothing major.
All right. Well, hang in there, please, and please send our regards to your lovely mother. Thank you so much for the great call. Let's go to Gail, line 2, Pennsylvania. Gail, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Leaving homeless on the street to freeze is just one page in that playbook where the dangerous, paranoid schizophrenics whose parents beg to put them in a mental institution cannot, because of these liberals that cause these laws to be as such that they have to commit themselves, which they will never do.
Right.
And therefore, what's happened now over time, there are barely any institutions available. Even if the laws change, they'd have to start, reestablishing because they're closed.
Gail, and you've never froze to death on the streets of a city. I'm just trying to figure out what possibly goes through their mind. Do they know that the end is near? Do they know they're about to fall asleep and never wake up again? Do you have any idea?
I think a lot of them disassociate. They probably, some of them are multiple personalities, some disassociate, some you have voices talking to them, telling them to do dangerous things to themselves and others. So no, most of the people I think on the street are severely mentally ill, severely addicted, out of their minds with addiction. I think there are some that might have temporary problems, but I would think that those that, have temporary employment issues would go to the shelter if they're in their right mind.
But how, and again, I have a special understanding of mental illness considering my mother, but how could you not know that it's that you're standing outside and it's freezing cold? How could you not know that?
Well, I think if a voice is telling them that they're fine, look at the voices that tell people to kill people.
You're correct.
So if they're
tell them to
telling
drive
them
into
to
the
kill
White
others,
House. You're correct.
Exactly.
And then they're shot by the Secret Service and so on.
Yeah, starting fire to people on the subway, pushing people into a subway impulsively. So if they're going to do that to others, sure, they'll do that to themselves too, kill themselves, whether directly or indirectly.
Gail, thank you for the great telephone call. So in Albany yesterday, speaking at the State Conservative Party conference, it was really cold in Albany, and I just kept thinking about what is it like to be out on the street with no place to go, with no one that cares about you, and you have the clothes on your back, and you have mental illness, and you're just standing there with no place to go, no place to sit, and you may just sleep on the ground, and you may have a blanket when we have on layers of coats and it still doesn't keep us warm. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, final thoughts of the day. Governor Hochul, I'm a little disappointed in you. You're the only one that can rein in New York's new mayor, Mamdani. 16 people have died, and you're out there blasting ICE and not putting Mamdani on notice that you're watching him to at least keep him in check. To keep him in check. This is a disaster. This guy has been in office for a month. He has no idea what he's doing. All he knows how to do is get his talking points for his press conference, look and sound good, and that's it, and go make a social media video. That's not what being mayor of New York City is about. Let's go to Linda, line 2, New Jersey. Linda, what's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to just mention this Bad Bunny guy. One thing, his Spanish sucks because I'm Puerto Rican. I don't even know what that is. I heard him being made fun of on Instagram, and that one little line, and people are like, what the hell is he saying? It's a disgrace. For him to be wearing a dress is because he wants to appease the LGBTQ people. Obviously, he wants his fans, and he knows that if he goes the other way, or he goes the correct way, or the more conservative way, he may lose his fans. So he's doing that for, I guess, popularity, or he doesn't want to lose his...
Hey, Linda, yeah, I agree with you, but explain this to me. He's already a megastar around the world. He doesn't have to worry about that, losing his base. At what point do we say I'm hurting children? I'm confusing young children by doing that? Doesn't matter. Is it all about just getting paid?
I thought it was over.
Linda?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to call you back.
Okay. All right. Well, it'll be hard to get through, Linda, but thank you for maybe another day. Let's go to Ralph, line 3, New Rochelle. What's on your mind, Ralph?
Yeah, Mr. Carter, we're talking about...
Your phone sounds awful, Ralph. Let's try it again. Go ahead.
Right. We're talking Bad Bunny, the morality of Bad Bunny. And, I was just thinking about Elvis in the 50s when he was shaking his hips and how everybody was, all upset.
So what are you telling me? Are you telling me it's okay? I don't understand what you're telling me.
I think the morality has changed, and it's worked downwards. I mean, a performer like Elvis just shaking his hips through everybody in a tizzy. Now this guy wants to perform in a dress. I mean,
no, not wants to, actually does. So I mean, but at least Elvis with his sexual moves, I know it was a big outcry and so on, but he wasn't putting on a dress. I mean, I'm just concerned about what are we saying to the kids. Because I've seen, thank you for the call, Ralph. I've seen on numerous occasions, I get on the subway and I see young ladies and they just start kissing each other and they're clearly romantic. And I guess that's okay. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man here. Kathy, Pennsylvania, line 1. What's on your mind, Kathy?
Hi, Dominic. About these people, these poor people who froze to death on the streets of New York City. I guess now we know what Mamdani meant when he talked about the warmth of collectivism.
Oh yes, and he's just getting started. With his I hate to put it this way, but with his ex-con correction commissioner, he's just getting started. It's
horrible.
So Kathy, how does it make you feel to know that 16 people died on the streets of New York during this cold weather?
Dominic, I can't get them out of my mind, just picturing them on the street. It's 1 degree here in Pennsylvania, let alone right. I know it's the same in New York. I can't be outside for 5 minutes.
Right. I agree with you.
The dog is skating across the backyard, freezing to when I let him out for 2 minutes. I just can't even imagine. It's inhuman. It's inhuman.
Right. It is. Kathy, thank you for the great call. To those of you holding on, I do apologize that we don't have time to get to your calls this hour. I am back at midnight East Coast time, so you can check out the program then. And, folks, I want to tell you, help America to never forget. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.